like how we were all copying Stu's finger flexing beforehand there. Great.
It's a thing now.
It's definitely a thing.
You've got to warm your fingers up.
Yeah.
Finger flexing with Tales from the 20 side. No, that sounds awful.
No,
sorry.
It does with Neil in the room.
Especially regarding the conversation we were just having off camera before we started the recording.
Finger flexing in the dark room.
But there we go.
Yeah.
And that'll stay off camera.
Indeed,
It's not that kind of story. Not that kind of adventure.
Indeed,
What
it will.
happens in the dark room stays in the dark room.
Stays in the
because
dark room.
Usually it's quite difficult to clean off the floor.
Oh no! Right. Welcome back, listeners, to Tales from a 20 Side, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your GM for this game and for many others. And I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hello.
Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hello.
And Miss Amy Chislett.
Hello. Oh, I'm a regular.
You are a regular now.
Yeah.
You've stuck with us through a whole recording session, and you came back for a second. You're now officially a regular.
Are you surprised?
Given this lot, a little bit.
What the fuck is
I'm
that
surprised.
supposed to mean?
I'm surprised I'm
Means
still
we're
alive.
dicks.
I can't believe I'm still alive.
Well, it's
How
early
is-
days.
How is everybody anyway? It's been a little while.
It has been a little while.
I'm bored.
Yeah, distinct lack
Bored
of
of
snow.
lockdown. Oh, there's been a little bit of snow here today.
Yeah, we've had a bit of snow as well. I completely forgot that the big snowstorm was a thing, and I left my flat at like 7:45 this morning to go to work, and I was very surprised when I stepped out my block and I heard something crunch beneath my feet. I was like, "What on earth is that?" And I looked down and the floor was white. I was like, "Oh, it's snow!" But I've got to go to work, so I can't have a snow day.
At least you didn't look down and say, it's cocaine.
Yes, I what can I say? I got very drunk last night. I had a bit of a Tony Montana moment. Just, coated the floor of Wantage with Class A drugs. I did not do that, folks. I did not do that, despite what some may think of me.
that was Saturday night.
That was Saturday night. You're correct.
Not on
I
the
think
school
I think
night.
from a legal standpoint, as this is public, we ought to say that other Class A drugs are available.
They most certainly are.
But not from us. Not from us.
Yeah.
We do not.
No,
we do
you
not
get
deal
your own.
drugs.
No.
You get your
I've got to be honest, that I do have a thing against people who take drugs, you know, the police, social workers. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I started playing Skyrim. That's my life at the minute.
First time or replay?
Well, it's kind of like when it first came out, I picked it up, and I think there was like 2 times I restarted it and never got anywhere with it. And then I saw that it was in the sale, so I bought it and like modded the hell out of it so it looks really pretty and works properly. So that's pretty much all I've been doing, because I'm in self-isolation again for 10 days because somebody at work tested positive for COVID. So I'm pretty much just sitting here playing video games and wondering when all this will end.
As are we all.
Because I really
miss
people.
I miss people too. I think I can probably speak for everyone here when I say we all miss people. I want to touch people and lick people with their consent, of course.
Well, there's a dark room for that. It never closes.
So yeah, on the subject of modding games, there, I don't think I've modded a game since Oblivion, actually. Obviously, Elder Scrolls 4, the predecessor to Skyrim. I remember playing that when I was much younger, really loving it, playing the hell out of it, and also modding it to literal death. Like I modded my game so much that at one point I went to turn it on and the game just didn't work. And I never really got round to sort of unpicking exactly what I'd done to break it. So I didn't play it. I didn't play it since. That's not true. I did a clean install a few years later and started playing again. But yeah.
So the story does have a happy ending.
It does have a happy ending, Neil.
Very much like your dark room. Actually, I've got a question for Neil. Where everyone's talking about sort of modding games. Do you have a clue what the fuck they're talking about, Neil?
Not really. No, do you?
No.
Well, I can understand what it might mean, but I wouldn't have the first clue how to do it.
No, buy games, you play them.
Does that mean when you change the rules in Monopoly?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Modding a game.
I can tell you for sure what modding a game is not. It does not involve putting it on a scooter.
With a parka and listening to the Who.
Oh dear.
Is it Kobayashi Maruing it?
I do not get that reference.
Terrible.
Amy does.
I do.
Amy
This
gets
makes
the
up for the
reference.
Monty Python reference the other week.
There we go. There we go.
No, it
So
doesn't.
Amy and I have started playing a Star Trek over streaming once a fortnight. Star Trek Adventures role playing. And first game, Amy's character gets thrown in the warp core.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing?
Welcome to Starfleet, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insta kill.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was okay though. It was on a holodeck, so
And can I just ask, what colour shirt do you wear?
it was
character?
blue. It was blue. It wasn't red.
Oh, you're not a red shirt.
Well,
No.
Amy is definitely wearing a red shirt right now for the folks who are listening at home.
Yes. This doesn't bode well.
Especially not with the situation that you've all suddenly found yourselves in. Should we get back into our game, folks?
Let's get back to
Yes.
the
Yes, let's.
All right. So, putting my teeth in and trying again.
He's speaking in
It's easy for you
tongues.
to say.
I'm speaking in
it's a
tongues.
miracle.
Perhaps that priest of Pharasma can help me out, banish it away from me. Yes, bringing ourselves back into our game. Our heroes, Brother Amos, Alwyn Templeton, and Otto von Niederschläger, along with their new acquaintance Dela Thornbury, have found themselves together in a place known as the Comonne Inn, a roadside tavern where our party have decided to stop for the night. When you arrived at this place, you became aware of commotion. From inside. A man dressed in the robes of a priest of Pharasma was being thrown bodily from the building and raising quite a ruckus as he did so, claiming that somebody inside had cheated him of something he had owned. The rest of the party sort of entered the tavern, made yourselves comfortable, had a very pleasant evening. Some of you less comfortable than others, as Alwyn, owing to drawing the ire of the bartender, you found yourself out in the cold with a Chardonnay. But as the evening wore on, our adventurers became aware of a small halfling woman by the name of Dela Thornbury, who had taken quite a keen interest in our party. And a few games of dice later, and a few lost silver pieces later, you all started to become firm friends. And Brother Amos, you helped Alwyn to get himself inside the tavern and into a warm bed, along with Chardonnay. Whether by acting drunk or being drunk, who knows? A bit of both. The four of you had a restful night's sleep. You awoke in the morning feeling refreshed. Dela Thornbury has made her way downstairs early to have some breakfast before getting on with whatever she's getting on with for the day. And just as the rest of you are coming downstairs, Brother Amos, I think you're still just about... you're getting up quite groggily with the hangover you've got, but you're not too far behind the rest of the guys. But certainly Otto and Alwyn, as you were making your way downstairs, you saw the door to the tavern burst open, and 3 figures came striding into it. 2 of them, thick-set individuals dressed in ragged leathers and with very surly looks on their faces, and the third, a familiar priest of Pharasma with a long salt and pepper beard by the name of Maximus Laurentius. And as he strode back into the tavern, now sober but still just as angry as you'd seen him the night before, he calls out to the room, "My name is Maximus Laurentius, and I want my knives back." And as he does so, he looks around the room and he sees you, Dela. "There! That's her! That's the charlatan!" And he marches towards you with these two ruffians in tow.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb with me, missy. You have something of mine that you did not win fair and square. I want it back.
You should never bet away what you're happy to lose. I did win that fair and square. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He sort of chuckles to himself, and he turns to face the rest of the room, and he says, "Can you believe this? A southerner telling us that she's not cheated me. You all saw it last night. I know you did. You just don't have the guts to say anything. Whilst I did gamble it fair and square, you are correct. You manipulated that game. I watched you swap dice as we lifted our cups up."
And how many drinks did you have last night, Maximus?
I had consumed drinks, that's correct. But I know what I saw. You cheated. You changed that last dice so you would win.
Dela at this point is going to stand up and look around the rest of the inn and go, "Did anyone actually see anything last night? Can anyone back up his story? Because as far as I can see, we just had a fair and square game. I won, he lost. No, it's fine, it's fine. We can all move on."
I think Maximus Laurentius was just leaving as we arrived, so I don't think we saw anything really. He seemed to be in a bit of a... He seemed to be a bit graceless, I have to say, as he was evicted from this place. I'm surprised you're allowed back in after last night's display.
As you say this there, Otto, you can see that the rest of the tavern has sort of quietened down. The common folk who are in here have kind of sort of put their heads down. They've gone back to just eating their breakfast. You can see the goblin bartender has appeared by the bar, and as you sort of say this, Otto, you do see him reaching below the bar to pick up what looks to be a crossbow of sorts. Not sort of loading it or firing it, but sort of just having it to hand ready. And you can also see, creeping into the room from sort of the kitchen and other areas, you can see a few of these more uniformed militia folk who you've seen kind of policing the place beforehand. And Maximus sort of looks, sees that nobody is saying anything, and he turns back to you, Dela, and he says, "Enough of this. Boys, take her outside." And the 2 ruffians are going to attempt to grab you, Dela.
Oh, no, they're not.
Can I just interject? Whilst that's been happening, I'd like to have discreetly ushered Chardonnay outside, but I want to come back in to keep an eye on what's going on.
Give me a stealth roll, Alwyn, just for the hell of it.
Okey-doke.
2.
7. I rolled a 2.
What's the total?
7.
It's a total of 7. Okay.
Yeah.
As you're sort of you're heading downstairs there, Alwyn. You do hear a shout from the goblin bartender. So he's sort of sort of calls over. Or not? What is that? Is that doing in here? I told you to leave it outside last night.
Yes. He's going outside. Yes.
Get out. Get out. Go. Get out now.
I'll usher Chardonnay outside.
Yeah. Okay. So as that's happening there, Dela, these two ruffians are sort of trying to grab hold of you. What's your reflex DC, Dela? So that's your reflex modifier plus 10.
So my reflex is 12 on the saving throws. Is that what I'm looking at?
That's what you're looking at, yes.
Yeah, I've got 12 there.
So then plus 10 is 22. Okay, so one of these men sort of reaches forward to grab hold of you. You sort of duck to one side, and his arm just slams into the wood behind you. The second one, however, almost using that as a distraction, grabs hold of you by the shoulder and starts to drag you out of the tavern.
Liberating step.
You're not inside, Alwyn.
Oh, the idea was to usher Chardonnay out, but stay inside. That was the...
No, when the barman was telling you to get out, he was telling you to get out as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, so can I try and break out of that?
You can. I tell you what, folks, just to make this a bit easier, let's all roll perception here.
Okay. Oh,
20.
Very perceptive. 12.
Perception.
21 for Alwyn.
21 for Alwyn, okay.
21.
21 for Otto. Amos.
20.
20 for Amos. And Dela.
12.
12 for Dela.
Bit distracted.
A little bit. That must have been a natural one, surely.
It was a 2.
It was a 2. Ouch. Your first roll.
Yeah, I know, right? There you go.
That's right. Get the bad ones out of the way early.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yes, because that is how it works, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it doesn't happen that you roll badly throughout the entire game from now on. That's never happened to any of us.
No. Well, I've got two sets of dice, so I can always swap over.
I think now I think
my
about it, wasn't our very first roll of the podcast a natural one?
I think it was.
It was one of our Bustos rolls.
It was.
All right. So, acting first is going to be this group of ruffians. The one who's got hold of you, Dela. Basically begins dragging you towards the door. They sort of get most of the way towards this. Alwyn, just as you kind of see the door behind you open as one of these individuals leads the way, and the second you can see is dragging this halfling girl out by her shoulder.
Can I now do liberating step?
No, because liberating step is a reaction when they are grabbed or take damage.
Okay.
But end of their turn, it is now. Alwyn, what's your perception modifier?
8.
And Otto, what's yours?
7.
7, okay. Alwyn, you are acting next. You see these men strong-arming Dela out of the tavern. What would you like to do?
Are they being overly rough?
They're certainly not being delicate.
And is this Maximus Laurentius with them?
You can see he's kind of letting them lead the way, but he's walking a few paces behind them.
Okay. I'd like to go up to the one that's got hold of Dela and say, I think you should let it go. I mean, clearly that other chap's being a bit of a racist dick. I'm sure this can all be dealt with reasonably. There's no need to be so heavy-handed, is there?
Stay out of this, mate. This ain't your problem.
Well, depending on how all Southerners are treated, I think it rather is, actually.
Is that all you're doing with your turn?
Yeah, I'm trying to persuade them to let her go.
Okay. I mean, you can make a diplomacy roll. It's going to be a real high DC there, Alwyn.
I appreciate that. I rolled quite well. 18.
Okay. As you sort of say this to him, he says his mate who opened the door sort of moves up to you and says, "We said this is none of your business. Suggest you step back." And he jabs you in the chest, not enough to hurt you or anything, but firmly. He jabs you in the chest with an implement that you recognise as a. With an implement you recognise as a sap, Alwyn.
Oh, fuck that. Right, yeah, with my... Well, presumably I've got one more action left. I'll draw the rapier.
Alright, okay. You draw your rapier. End of Alwyn's turn. We're round to Otto. Otto, you've just seen this. These people drag Dela out of the Comonne Inn.
I don't know what to do. I was thinking of approaching the barman and asking if he will be serving breakfast.
I love it.
Yes, I think that is what I will do. I will ask
Somebody say breakfast.
Yes.
Otto, you make your way over to the goblin barman and you ask him if he's still serving breakfast. And the goblin looks very confused and he sort of says, "What?"
Yes,
breakfast.
The meal you have when you wake up in the morning.
Yes, I am aware of it.
Am I too late?
No. Breakfast is still being served. You'll forgive me if I'm a little distracted at the moment.
Well, surely the customer is always right. You have the needs of your customers. We can ignore this unpleasantness, I think, and this is nothing. I don't see what it has to do with us.
You get the sense, Otto, that he's waiting to see how this plays out, in case he has to take any action to defend himself or his property.
I understand you are concerned, perhaps, for your furniture, should there be any unpleasantness. But do you have a menu I can look at in the meantime?
Sure. One moment. He reaches below the bar and he brings up there's a bit of. He's got a piece of wood that's kind of had pyrography used to burn into the wood as to what your options are, and your options are breakfast.
I see these options don't change very often. It would be quite a task to change the menu. Yes, I will order a breakfast for one, please.
All right. So with your turn, Otto, you order breakfast. I love it.
You got to make sure you have a full stomach before you get involved in anything.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay. End of your turn, Otto. We're round to Brother Amos. Brother Amos, you're kind of still just coming out of your room. You don't know exactly what's happening downstairs, but you do hear a commotion of sorts.
I suppose I better go downstairs and see what's happening.
Okay, and just as it will kind of take most of your turn to get to the top of the stairs, and when you get there, you see this priestly-looking man who you'd encountered the night before, sort of ushering out two quite thuggish-looking individuals. You don't see Alwyn, nor do you see Dela or Nadia, but you do see Otto at the bar perusing the breakfast menu.
Otto, bacon.
It looks very good. You should come and Shall I order for you as well?
Yes, please. I feel terrible.
All right, okay. End of your turn,
Heroes
Brother
of
Amos.
Galarian.
End of your turn, Brother Amos. We are round to Dela. So you've been dragged out of this tavern and sort of thrown heavily into the snow outside. One of these chaps still has hold of you, but it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, Maximus, how do you really feel that your high priest boss dude is going to feel knowing that you have better way your very precious item? Does it really make sense to bring me back there? And then as I'm saying that, I want to see if I can break free of the grasp.
Sure, okay. So roll... sorry, I forget how escaping works every time we do it. Because as any long-time RPG player will tell you, grappling rules are the bane of everyone's existence. Okay, so if you... okay, you can either give me an unarmed attack, an acrobatics check, or an athletics check.
I will give you an acrobatics check.
Alright, roll that check.
15.
15 is not enough. These men, this chap is quite strong, and he's quite strong in the arm, and he seems very practiced at keeping a firm grip on those he needs to do so.
Okay, and can I draw my dagger?
You can draw your dagger. That's absolutely fine.
Cool.
I'd say you've got one action left, Dela. Unless, I mean, when you were speaking to Maximus, were you just trying to talk to him? Were you trying to persuade him of something?
I would like to persuade him to not take me there by highlighting the fact that he shouldn't have bet that away.
Sure, okay. So we'll have a diplomacy roll for you, Dela. That will count as your first action.
Okay. 16.
16, okay. So as you say this there, Dela, he sort of he looks at you and he smiles, and he says, "My dear, I had no intention of taking you anywhere. You will give me that necklace back right now, and then I will be on my way." And then you fail to break free, and draw your dagger.
Yep.
All right. End of your turn. We are back around to the ruffians. You can see that the one that's already had this sap drawn, Alwyn, seeing you draw your rapier, sort of moves up towards you and sort of says, "I'd put that down if I were you." And seems to be holding himself ready. The other one, who's got hold of you, Dela, will first draw his sap, and he will strike you with it for a 22 to hit, Dela.
That hits.
Okay.
Liberating step.
All right. Remind me what liberating step does, Alwyn?
So it reduces damage by 6 points, and it also where a person is grabbed, it enables them to try and break free. If they can break free, they can step away 5 foot.
Sure. Okay. So as this individual strikes you, Dela, you would take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. But Alwyn, sort of being nearby, intervenes with a little flick of magic, and you feel it takes most of the blow. You only take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, and as Stu has said, you can attempt to break free from that grapple again.
Okay, so it's an acrobatics check.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, 21.
And that is enough. It seems that as he goes to strike you with this weapon, he loosens his grip on you for just a moment, and you're able to. And although he hits you and it stings, you're able to wriggle free of his grasp.
I do so with a hand on my hat.
All right. And Alwyn, what's the other thing that Liberating Step does?
You can step as a free action as well. So you wouldn't. So you step away from him basically, so you're not right next to him.
Okay, I'll take a step towards you.
Okay, you step away. You step away from this individual, who he sort of swears quite loudly and then steps in to fill the space that you'd left. But that will end his turn, and that's going to be it for them. Alwyn, we're on to you.
So this one that's squared up to me and told me to put the rapier down, I will square back up with, gesture to his sap and say, I've had some very bad experiences with those things in the past. I'm just ready to defend myself is all. Perhaps if you put yours away, I'll put mine away. That is an attempt to, I suppose, either diplomacy or intimidation, whichever you would think.
I mean, how aggressive is Alwyn being when he's saying that?
Not so much aggressive, more...
That'll be diplomacy then, please.
Assuredness, I suppose. Oh, natural 20 for 23.
Ooh.
Okay. You can see he's turning the idea over in his head. Tell you what, you step away, leave us to our business. This doesn't have to get ugly.
Free country. I would like to ready an action with my remaining 2 actions. If either of these ruffians makes a strike at anyone, I would like to make a non-lethal strike at them.
Okay, all right. Otto, we're round to you. You are ordering breakfast.
Yes. Is Maximus Laurentius anywhere near me?
No, he's now left, and the door has closed behind him.
Whether to get involved or not, that is always a big question, isn't it? I think I will tell the barman that I will be back in a minute. I'm just going to check that everything is all right, and I will wander outside to see what's going on.
You do so. As you open the door, Otto, you see these 2 ruffians with their saps drawn. One is kind of in Alwyn's face, holding himself ready. The other is moving menacingly towards Dela, who is kind of scurrying away from him.
Oh, what the hell! I will cast Tanglefoot upon the one who is approaching Dela.
All right. That's a reflex save from him, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. That's an 18, Otto. What's your spell DC?
My spell DC is 19.
He fails. So what happens on a fail there, Otto?
On Tanglefoot,
Yes.
his movement becomes quite it trips up. Actually, I'll have to look it up.
If I remember rightly, it slows his movement.
It will slow him right down.
It does. It slows his speed down by 10 feet. And it's meant to be a spell attack from you, but I've rolled it as a save. It's fine for now.
Right.
So you sort of lash out this sticky vine from your finger, Otto, which wraps around this chap's leg and pulls taut. You've got an action left if you want it.
I will draw a weapon. I will draw my returning dagger.
Okay, the dagger you took from the body of Radisek.
Yes, nothing like a weapon you've taken from someone's, prized out of someone's cold, dead grasp.
There we go. So that's going to end your turn, Otto. We're round to Brother Amos. Brother Amos, you've just seen Otto, after promising bacon, you've seen him turn and walk out the door with a curious look on his face.
But I don't really know what's going off. I haven't heard anything or seen anything.
Nope, you've heard some kind of commotion, but you don't really know the details.
I'm gonna go over to the bar and start eating Otto's breakfast.
Okay, and this happens all very very quickly. So the barman as the barman turns around to fish out a bowl of whatever breakfast he's serving, Otto disappears, is replaced by Brother Amos, and the goblin plonks this bowl in front of you. He says, "Here you go, sir." Oh, terribly sorry. This was for your dwarven friend.
Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it.
All right, you're paying. I don't care.
Amos struggles to talk as his mouth is full of whatever it is that he's eating.
It looks to be kind of like a breakfast stew of some kind.
Oh, breakfast stew.
Okay. All right. So end of your turn, Brother
My new
Amos.
nickname.
Breakfast
Did you get that nickname in the dark room?
All right.
I remembered yesterday there's a character in The Simpsons called Disco Stew.
There is.
That would suit you, given your lighting effect behind you.
There we
Disco
go.
Stew likes to boogaloo. Yeah.
Okay. End of Brother Amos's turn. We are round to Dela.
Cool. How's Maximus looking now we've fiddled around with his ruffian friends?
He doesn't seem particularly disturbed one way or the other. He does seem a bit surprised, having seen this sticky vine shoot out from behind him and wrap itself around one of your assailant's legs, but otherwise he doesn't seem to have changed his demeanour much.
Okay. And if I was to the guy that I've just run away from, is he right in front of me? Like, would I be able to move away from him now he's entangled, or would that provoke an attack?
You certainly could. I mean, you don't know what kind of reflexes he has, if he can take a swing at you or anything, but you can certainly move away.
Okay, what I would like to do is move towards Maximus and take a non-lethal swing at him.
All right, so you're sort of rushing. So you move away from the ruffians towards Maximus himself, and you want to go and jab him with the non-pointy end.
Yes, not
All
very
right.
pleased.
Roll an attack with your dagger, please, Dela. Because you're trying to make this non-lethal and it's not designed for that, you're going to take -2 on the roll.
Ooh. So I rolled 16 plus 10, 26 minus 2, 24.
24. Oh, you are a hair off a critical hit there, Dela. You sort of rush up and you beam this guy very hard in the sternum. Takes him completely by surprise. Roll damage with the dagger there.
Okay, so that is 1d4.
It's 1d4 plus your strength.
3. I have no strength.
Okay. Yeah, he's not flat-footed, sadly, because Otto's a little way behind. Otherwise, you'd get your sneak attack. But you sort of rush up and jam this dagger really hard into his chest. He looks quite surprised for a second, and you still have an action left, Dela, if you want to take it.
Cool. Maximus, this is really not the time or place. I think you just need to drop it and let bygones be bygones.
Okay. You can give me a diplomacy roll there, Dela.
Okay. 14.
14. If anything, you having the gall to hit him in the chest and then tell him to calm down, it's just made him angrier. you can see he's starting to go a bit red in the face, almost as if steam pressure's about to build and blow out of his ears, that kind of thing.
I can imagine he's a bit embarrassed to be beaten by someone half his size.
There is an element of that. All right. End of your turn, Dela. We're round to Alwyn. No, that's a lie. We are round to these two ruffians. You see they sort of change focus. One of them, the one who's wrapped up, is going to attempt to break free of the entangle. The 3 fails. He's going to try again. Not too smart. 15's a fail, isn't it, Neil? Your DC's 18.
Sorry, was that
Your spell DC.
my spell DC is
19, I think.
19. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so he fails that. Yeah, you can see he's sort of struggling and writhing to get himself free from this. Yeah, he's going to spend his last action attempting to break free again. No, again, he seems to be stuck very hard in place. Doesn't seem to realise that he can still move. He feels a bit like he's stuck in place. He's like, oh, get off me! The other one is going to back away from you, Alwyn. Turns his back and strikes Dela with his sap.
Oh, does that activate my readied action?
It will, but there are no targets within 5 feet of you. Unfortunately. So we had a 18 to hit you, Dela.
It does not.
That's a miss. Okay, so first swing, he comes in, he misses. He's going to come in for another swing on the backhand. And again, some kind of sixth sense there, Dela. You feel it coming and you duck out the way. That's their turn. Otto, we're round to you.
Is it not Alwyn first?
Oh, it's Alwyn, yes.
It is Alwyn, you're correct.
Alwyn, yes.
Sorry.
No, don't apologise.
Alwyn will... Ooh. Don't really want to bring a wolf to a knife fight. Yeah, I'll go up behind the one that just tried to attack Dela.
Mm-hmm.
So would I be now flanking with Dela?
Yeah, you can move into position where you're flanking
Against that
her.
one.
Yep.
Okay, I'd like to do that with the first action. Second action, I'd like to attempt a non-lethal attack with the rapier.
Okay, roll that attack. It's +2 for flanking, -2 for being non-lethal, so just make that a straight roll, please.
Okay. Oh, no, natural 1. You're going to want a d6 roll from me now, aren't you?
I am, unless there's anything you want to do with it first.
Now let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. All right, let's have a d6, please, Stu.
For the fun of it. 5.
Ooh, that is a critical fumble there, Stu.
No.
Let's see what the critical fumble deck has to say today.
Oh no, it's going so well.
I do still have an action, so yeah.
Just be thankful he hasn't tried to heal you yet.
I'll bear that in mind.
I used to be 6 foot tall.
Stu, could you just roll damage for that attack, please?
Turned me into a newt.
Wrong dice. 1.
Total of 1?
Yeah.
Okay. As you sort of move towards this individual, to strike him. Trying to use the weapon in a non-lethal way is it's very unbalancing for you, and as you step in to deliver the strike, you find you've got your arms sort of twisted in a really wrong manner. The attack goes wide, but as you do so, the weight of the weapon almost slips from your grasp and you crack yourself in the back of the head, taking 1 point of damage.
Okay. Ow!
You drew backswing there, Stu.
Right.
Dela's going to have a bit of a look of shock on her face at how awful weapon handling that was.
It's quite impressive in some ways.
Hit yourself in the back of the head.
This is what happens when you try and fight and not hurt people. You hurt yourself.
I do have one action remaining, I believe.
You do. What would you like to do?
I would like to
Cry.
use the rapier to attempt to disarm
Okay, roll
this guy.
I believe it's athletics.
Okay.
I think. Just checking that.
Oh, that's better. If it's athletics, it's 23.
It will be 23, I'm pretty sure. This is reflex, let's see. 23. Yeah, alright, Alwyn. You sort of, as you recover from hitting yourself in the back of the head, you recover your footing, and you do manage to slide the blade of the rapier between a couple of his fingers, and you rip them free. You can see the sap is loose in his hand, but he's not disarmed.
Okay. That's my go. Effective!
There we go. Otto, we're round to you.
Oh, well, I'll try something new. Who's nearest? Is Maximus Laurentius nearest me, or one of the thugs? Or two of the thugs?
Maximus is nearest you, Otto.
Which is the biggest target? Is there a...
Do you mean physically?
Yes, are there two of them together, or...
Yeah,
or
so
they're all in different directions, or...
You've got the two ruffians who are a little beyond Maximus. One of which is between Alwyn and Dela, and the other is still a distance away from the group, trying to break free of this sticky sap that you threw around his legs.
So Maximus Laurentius, the thug who's nearest to me, I think I will vomit a swarm of wasps.
Okay. That's a thing. Vomit Swarm. I'm guessing you're casting Vomit Swarm there,
yes.
Neil. You belch forth a swarm of magical vermin. Yeah, so I think Dela would see this first with her perception bonus. As you're having this back and forth with Maximus, you see the dwarf you'd met last night, Otto, walking out of the door, and you watch him flick a string of sticky vines around the legs of one of the thugs pursuing you, and then you see him sort of clutch one arm to his gut, and he retches as though he's about to vomit, and you hear a buzzing sound as spewing forth from his mouth is a cloud of wasps.
Straight in the face of the thug.
Straight in the face.
2d8 piercing damage.
I've just looked up this spell, and the thing that really bothers me is 30-foot cone.
Well, there's bound to be some collateral damage.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you can probably angle it in such a way that you don't hit Alwyn, but I'm going to need a save from everybody else is going to take some damage. So let's have some rolls for them. Maximus, your spell DC is 19, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Maximus will pass. No, Maximus fails.
Oh,
Ruffian 1 fails. Ruffian 2 passes. I am going to need a reflex save, please, from Dela.
Wait, is that just 12 plus my roll plus
Yes, it's so it's your D20 plus your reflex save and throw bonus.
18?
18. That's a fail there, Dela.
I hope I'm not allergic.
Roll
find out.
Roll 2d8 for me, please, Otto.
make sure I've got the right one. So 3 plus 3, 6.
Okay. Dela, you take 6 points of piercing damage as these wasps just cover you and start stinging you, and you also feel perhaps you are allergic, because as they kind of sting you and then flutter away, you do feel yourself a little bit ill. You become sickened 1. So what sickened does? Sickened gives a -1 penalty to all of your rolls.
Sorry about that.
I couldn't use liberating step because Otto's technically not an enemy. He's working on it, obviously, but
What can I say? It's a stinger
Yes,
of a day.
But how much damage have I done to our antagonists?
It's the same damage.
Right.
It's the same damage. You've got an action left there, Otto.
I think I've done enough damage for now. I will just ready my returning dagger.
Okay. I mean, you've got it in your hand already. You can throw it if you want.
What the hell? In for a penny. I will throw it. Who's the nearest?
The nearest is Maximus Laurentius.
I'll throw my returning dagger at Maximus Laurentius. In for a penny.
Okay. Roll the attack.
So it's D20 plus
Your ranged strike for the dagger.
Range strike is a total of 10.
Total of 10.
I threw a 2.
That is unlucky. You sort of throw this dagger, Otto. It whooshes past Maximus and lands in the snow before blinking back to your hand. Okay, that's the end of your turn. Brother Amos, we're round to you. You start enjoying this breakfast stew, and you are certain that you hear from outside a sudden buzzing sound, as if thousands of angry bees had suddenly descended on the village.
So, Brother Amos finishes eating his stew, pushes the bowl to one side, walks over to the door, opens the door, sees Otto tangled in one of his own spells, Alwyn hitting himself round the head, and a swarm of wasps, shuts the door, goes back to the bar and says, "One rum, please."
A wise choice.
Fantastic. Breakfast rum is best kind of rum.
Fucking damn straight.
Oh dear. Alright, that ends Brother Amos's turn. Dela, we're back round to you. As a reminder, you are sickened 1, so it's -1 to all your rolls. If you want to try and clear that, you can spend an action to retch.
Well, first off, I'm going to be like, not the bees! And if that will make me feel better, I think I'll try and retch. What does one
Is that a
roll for
Nicolas Cage reference there?
It is a
Of
Nicolas Cage
course.
reference. I think you could make a second one, given Osso's propensity for fire. But, yes. So you spend as these wasps sort of pass over you, Dela. You feel the venom in you, and you begin to dry heave. You can give me a fortitude save, please.
21.
21 is a success. You sort of heave and you retch, and after a moment, this feeling passes. You are no longer sickened.
Okay. And after I feel a little bit better, I'm going to sort of wipe my mouth a little bit and then go after Maximus again with my dagger, non-lethal still.
Okay, roll an attack.
No.
No.
It wasn't a 1, but it's a no.
Okay, what was the total? You never know.
12.
Or 12 is unfortunately a miss.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to strike him once and you miss. Do you want to try again?
We'll do.
You've still got an action left.
Yeah, I'll go in again. Oh. I rolled a 3, so not much better.
It's not, and where it's the second attack of your turn, you also take a -4 penalty with a dagger.
Okay, so I rolled a -1.
-1 plus stuff, so yeah, that's a miss. It's these wasps have distracted you just a little bit, and you sort of swing wildly twice, not connecting with him, unfortunately. That's going to end your turn, Dela. We're back round to Maximilian and the thugs, and you can see that Maximilian himself, Maximus, is looking. He's looking quite badly injured from the various hits, and certainly from the wasps that were spat into his face. And you can see there's a hint of desperation creeping into his eyes, and he sort of looks down at you, Dela, and he says, "You don't understand. If I go back without that, they'll excommunicate me. Give it back." Are you wearing the necklace, Dela?
I don't think so. I didn't think to put it on.
No worries, that's fine. In which case, he is just going to attempt. He's going to attempt to strike you with his fists, and being a weedy wizard man, he misses. He misses again. Okay. You see, he goes to swing at you a third time, Dela, and he misses so hard that he overbalances and he topples face forward into the snow.
Did he roll a natural 1 as well?
He did roll a natural 1 as well, Stu.
Yes!
Ah, Maximus, don't start something you can't finish.
I mean, we could say the same about you guys at the moment. Like, nobody's hitting anything.
I hit him once.
This was meant to be a quick little brawl, but
Brother Amos doing an entire
Alwyn hit
breakfast
something
without spilling any down
Excuse
himself.
me?
That's an achievement.
okay. The two thugs. One of them's going to keep trying to break free of the Tanglefoot. No. And you see, he finally wrenches himself free of this sticky vine and moves up to support his ally, but that's all his turn. The other, he's going to make 2 strikes at Dela and 1 strike at Alwyn.
He's still partially disarmed.
Okay, so you see kind of the first thing he does is you see him reaffirm the grip on his weapon. I'm pretty sure. I feel like that should be an action. I'm going to say that's an action. So 1 strike at each of you. Thank you for reminding me, though, Stu.
No worries. That's
I've got 22 to hit Dela.
Yep.
And a
liberating
natural 20.
step.
Okay, liberating step. And a natural 20 on yourself there, Alwyn.
That'll hit.
So Dela, you would take 11 points of bludgeoning damage, but again, Alwyn uses some magic to get in the way, and you only take 5 bludgeoning damage. Alwyn, you take a total of 12 points of bludgeoning damage as he sort of cracks once into Dela and swings round. I told you to stay out of this. And just cracks you straight across the jaw with this implement.
Oh.
Okay.
That's them. Alwyn, it's you.
Do I get a sense that he's tried that he's hit me non-lethally?
Yeah, I mean, with your knowledge of these saps, having had some quite intimate experience with them, you get the sense that they are non-lethal by design.
Right.
They are designed to subdue rather than kill or seriously harm.
Okay. Just gonna say, ow, bastard.
And what are you going to do for your second turn?
For my first action, I would like to draw my shield,
Okay,
which I keep forgetting about.
Yeah,
Second action,
we actually forgot about it for the entirety of the first book.
we did indeed.
Do you have a shield?
I have a shield. Yes.
It's all right. I have a staff and I can do medicine things. I'd forgotten about.
We all have our own little things that we
Forget about.
So second action, I'd like to raise the shield.
Okay.
Third action, I'd like to non-lethally wallop him with the rapier again.
Okay, roll the attack.
In fact, no, I'd like to try and disarm him again, please.
All right, roll the athletics roll.
8.
8 total.
Yes.
That is not going to be enough, unfortunately.
What? 8?
8.
A high roll.
In fact, I'm just checking something because that might be a critical failure.
I give him an extra weapon.
It's just reflex. Yeah, here, have a weapon. Yeah, that is a critical failure there, Stu. So as you go to disarm the weapon, again your feet slide from underneath you and you lose your balance. You are flat-footed till the start of your next turn.
Can I drop the rapier instead?
You may drop the rapier instead.
I'll do that.
Right. This is becoming a bit of a comedy of errors over here. Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right. End of your turn, Alwyn. It's Otto.
I will cast Tanglefoot on Maximus Laurentius.
Okay, make a spell attack. We'll do it properly this time.
Alright, so it's just a 1D, is it D20 plus spell DC?
D20 plus your spell attack.
Plus spell attack. So 20.
A 20 will hit. So that reduces his speed. You sort of, as he's kind of lying on the floor with his face in the snow, you flick out another vine of Tanglefoot to wrap around his legs.
And now that he's immobilized, I will try and reason with him. Can I use a diplomacy?
Yeah. What would you like to say to him?
What I'd like to say was, well, if these knives are so valuable to you, for one, you should not have gambled them, and for two, you are making entirely the wrong approach here. Why don't you offer to buy them back? Why was that not your first move, rather than just try and demand them back?
Give me a diplomacy roll there, Otto. Or intimidation, your choice.
They're both the same. It will come to 28.
28. Okay. Just for roleplay purposes, Otto, were you attempting to persuade him or intimidate him?
I was trying to persuade him, really. Look, now that you're on the back foot, as it were, now that you are not holding the whip hand, let us talk, and let us talk sensibly about an arrangement by which you can recover your so valuable knives without resorting to force and intimidation. So
as you sort of tower over him, Otto, perhaps it's where he's face down in the snow, because that sort of lends a sense of perspective as you stand over him. Just wiping the last wasp from your mouth as you do so, and you say these words to him, and you watch as the man in front of you breaks. you hear a howling sob coming out from him, and you see that tears become streaming down his face, and you see he sort of says, "I've already lost everything. I have a problem, all right. I'm sorry." And that's where we're going to end for tonight, folks. Tales from the 20 Side is a Feeble Films production in association with Juicy Falls, music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com, editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.
This necklace better be fucking worth it.
It's so good. I don't want money. I want the necklace.
Yeah, maybe at some point Amy will deign to tell you what it is I've given her.
And as we know, bees make honey. Do you think Otto can get his wasps to make some marmalade?
Wouldn't Alwyn want some mead?
Always.